Okay, hi everybody. I'm here to tell you a few more things about Malcolm X. As you probably already know, our presentation is on, unless you're asleep, like Will Hunt probably is in the second row right now. So, anyways, the assassination of Malcolm X was on February 21st, 1965, in New York City. El Haj Malik El Shabazz, as he was known back then, technically, was only 39 years old when this happened. He was addressing an audience of the group he founded, the Organization of Afro American Unity, while three men rushed the stage carrying pistols and a shot off shotgun. It was a violent end for a man who scorned the nonviolent teachings of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., insisting that violence was sometimes necessary for self defense and in the fight against discrimination. So there ended up being 21 total gunshot wounds in the final autopsy report of Malcolm X's body, so it was pretty brutal. And the convicted assassins were Talmadge Hayer, Norman 3X Butler, and Thomas 15X Johnson. All of these men were actually Nation of Islam members with Malcolm X and served on the same Nation Committee, Islam kind of thing. The police took a while to arrive, and Talmadge Hayer, the main assassin, was severely beaten by members of the crowd until those police arrived. But he did live, and he actually was paroled in 2010. So I believe he's still living today. Uh, and I attached a YouTube clip of the 1992 scene in the movie Malcolm X with Denzel Washington, where he is killed, and it actually portrays it pretty similarly to what the autopsy said, and it shows the men beating uh, Talmadge Hayer, and it's quite brutal, but good movie. Anyways, John Ali, who was the national security of the Nation of Islam, was believed to be an FBI informant at the time, whose job was to break down civil rights groups that became detrimental to the public. And this is all part of the conspiracy theories in Malcolm X's assassination. And so the day before the assassination, John L.E. had met with Talmadge Hayer, the main assassin in the killing of Malcolm X. And in an earlier interview with a reporter, Malcolm had actually identified John Ali as an arch enemy in the Nation of Islam leadership. And this meeting between Ali and Hayer was actually not heard about until 1977 and 78, the years in which Hayer described the entire situation with John Ali. And Hayer even claimed that Butler and Johnson, the other two assassins, weren't even involved. And so this homicide case, however, was never reopened in an attempt to convict these other men who were involved allegedly. So Malcolm X's legacy is pretty great among black Americans, and he's largely responsible for the spread of Islam throughout the black communities in the U.S. and is considered one of the most influential African Americans in history. The autobiography of Malcolm X, in collaboration with Alex Haley, was considered one of the 10 most influential nonfiction books of the 20th century. The Malcolm X house site, where Malcolm X was born in Omaha, Nebraska, is actually part of the National Register of Historic Places for the U.S. And May 19th, which is Malcolm X's birthday, is considered Malcolm X Day ever since 1979, and is commemorated as a holiday because of his great influence in the black communities and in the U.S. in general. He's actually published 11 of his own works of literature and is portrayed in 11 films, most notably 1992 Malcolm X, and then also as James Earl Jones, and in 1977, I want to say, and Morgan Freeman also played him, and I want to say it's 1981 in a TV film called like The End of a Prophet. I don't remember the name of it, but good movie nonetheless. And Malcolm X had a great amount of influence all over the U.S. and actually internationally, and some say that he's one of the most influential black leaders in the history of not only the U.S. but the world. And he's much different than he much contrasted Martin Luther King in great ways because of Martin Luther King was more nonviolent resistance, whereas Malcolm X had violent resistance, which ultimately led to his violence. There's also actually a city college of Chicago called Malcolm X College, which is a community college here in the city of Chicago that actually is a high rate of transfer rate to four-year universities, and it's a good way for a lot of the kind of poor Chicago students to kind of take a step into college and move on to a better four-year school. So, and that's in the city of Chicago. So that's part of Malcolm X's legacy as well. So I'm going to hand it over to Jimmy, Robbie, Bobby, Scanlon, and Zach, and we'll finish up here. Thank you.